Welcome, Sophia. I'm glad to see you today. Just as a reminder, I do want to let you know that today is our last session, so we'll be going over the progress that you made and also the skills that you learned. So does that sound all right with you?
Yeah, I'm really sad that it's our last session because I feel like I really have learned a lot, and I think that meeting with you every week has been something that I've looked forward to. But I do think that I've learned a lot of really good things that will help me as I continue on. So although I'm sad, I do think that, yeah, it would be good to go over what we've talked about.
So this type of transition can be very difficult for people. So the feelings that you're feeling are totally normal. So don't feel like you are not going to continue to make progress. You know, that's why we're having this conversation, so we can kind of work through these feelings. But I want you to know that I've seen the progress that you've made, and I'm sure that you'll continue to make the progress even after our sessions, okay? So I know that in our sessions we worked on lessening your nightmares as well as kind of helping you improve these feelings that you feeling uncomfortable being around men. So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I came originally because I was dealing with a lot of trauma, and I think that we really have worked through that and processed it a lot. And I think, yeah, obviously my, not fear, but discomfort with the opposite sex, I think, yeah, those are probably the things that we've talked about most.
So let me ask you this. So how do you see yourself in the future now that you've learned these skills? Let's say that one day you went to bed and you no longer had these worries and you no longer had these nightmares that seemed to really affect you in your daily life. If you no longer had them, how would that make you feel?
Relieved, first and foremost, I think. Just to know, I think that, like I've told you before, that a lot of people get to go to sleep at the end of the day, and like that's their time of peace, whereas I'm always afraid to go to sleep because once I fall asleep, it's worse. So I think if my nightmares were just to be gone, I would feel a sense of peace. I would feel relieved that I didn't have to relive things over and over. I wouldn't feel scared anymore. I think that overall I'd probably just be happier.
So now that you've said how you would feel, how do you think your life would look like if you were able to get rid of your nightmares completely? How would that look like to you?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. It would look so great. I think I've definitely seen a difference from the nightmares I used to have, like the amount that I used to have to now. And I think that, first of all, I wouldn't be super anxious anymore. I think I would be a lot more well-rested because I wouldn't be afraid. I would be able to stay asleep once I fall asleep, and so I wouldn't be waking up in the middle of the night. I think that I would probably do a lot better in school because I would be well-rested and wouldn't have to worry about that. And then also, I think my relationships all around would improve with my mom and with my friends. I think I would be a lot more willing to open up to them and not fear rejection or fear what they might think about me. And I also think that my relationships with men, I don't think, if I wasn't constantly reminded of the abuse, then I think that my relationships with men would be better. I wouldn't always be afraid every time I encountered a man.
You know, I want to say that that's really great insight, that you've really learned about yourself over this time together. You should be really, really proud of yourself because you've done a lot of hard work. You know, you've been attending our sessions, you've been attending the support groups, you've been doing a lot. Do you feel like that there's been any improvement in your life since you've been attending the support groups?
I mean, I feel like I've grown a lot since I've been in the support groups. You know, I've made a lot of new friends, something that I wasn't really doing, like socializing with other people. And I think I've developed like really meaningful relationships since, you know, I've been attending these groups and sessions here. I think I've also learned a lot about myself, especially about how strong I am, and you know, you've helped me see that. And I think that's been very helpful in kind of helping me push myself to not go back to how I was. And I think also like the relationship with my mom has improved too since I've been, you know, working on myself. I think that having another person to turn to and talk about my problems or the way I'm feeling has been really helpful for me. So I can see how having other people, talking to other people can be very helpful for me, and how that's helped me.
Well, I can say myself that I've noticed a lot of improvement, and you've done a lot of growth since we began our sessions. And I have to say that it makes me very proud to hear that you can identify the own progress that you've made. Are there any current concerns that you have that you would like to discuss?
I mean, to be honest, I'm afraid, you know, like I said, I made a lot of progress, but I'm just afraid that once these sessions end, I'm just not gonna do this again. Like, I'm not gonna be open. I'm kind of gonna close down and shut down, and that's really fearing is like the one-on-one sessions have really helped me a lot, and I feel like us not seeing each other is really gonna affect the progress that I make. So I'm just really worried about, you know, ending.
You know, ending is usually something that clients are very afraid of. It creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of worry. I mean, you know, you ask yourself, sessions are ending, what am I going to do now? But the thing is that you have something that you didn't have before, and those are the skills that we've gone through and that you've utilized the whole time that you've been with me. You've used them during our sessions, you've used them during group, you've used them in your social relationships. You've done a great job at journaling your dreams, your nightmares, using the dream analysis tool. I mean, you've done a lot, and you've done a really good job at it. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you have more concerns? Or
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just still afraid. You know, I'm just afraid of not having this space to talk about. I mean, I have the groups, and you know, but I've never really had anything like this before that really helped me. And I mean, I'm just scared that, you know, this was the first step to me making these changes, and I'm scared that now that I don't have it, I won't continue to make changes. But I know that the skills that I've learned are helpful, and they've been helping me so far. So I actually feel more comfortable with talking to you about it right now, and I feel like I can look towards, you know, finding support with my friends and my mom now that about my problems. So, you know, thank you for that. But I can see now how I can be more open to going and seeking somebody else's support as well.
right, and I think that that's even another strength that you have, is that you realize that this isn't the end, right? It doesn't stop here, and that's really great insight, because the goal was not to come in here and for things to disappear. The goal was to come in here and to make progress, and that you've done a really good job of that. So I want to ask you something. How do you plan to continue moving forward in the future?
I mean, like, now that we're not going to, you know, have sessions, I still kind of want to have, you know, I want to continue to attend the support group. So, like, that's something I'm planning to do just so I can have an outlet to talk about. I've also been doing journaling, and not only about my nightmares, but just about things that I'm thinking about, that sometimes, you know, my sad feelings and my worries. So that's been very helpful. So I continue to do that. I'm going to continue to do that too. I think also, you know, you kind of told me about, you know, continue to do things that I enjoy that make me happy. So I'm going to continue to do the new hobbies that I've, you know, gotten myself involved in. So, you know, painting and just like the arts and crafts things that I've been doing that kind of make me happy.
Well, Sophia, I think that sounds like a great plan, and I'm just wondering, how have you talked to your mom about this, and how will you proactively implement these coping mechanisms that seem to be working really well for you?
Well, I have thought about it a lot, and because my mom has been such a support to me, I've mainly discussed it with her, and she really supports me 100%, and that's made me really find the strength to continue on this path and to find ways on how to stay on this path. Also, the support group, the one good thing is I know that our sessions are ending, and that's a big change for me, but I'm trying to look at things on the brighter side, and I know that my support groups are ongoing, so I don't have to worry about that, you know, ending anytime soon. I can kind of choose when I want to stop going or when I feel like I can't stop going.
I think that that's absolutely great that you've thought about this and you've talked with your mom about things, and that she's 100% on board. I think that to have that support is a great strength for you continuing on, you know, after the sessions. And I think that also the journaling that you've been doing and just proactively seeking out ways to do your hobbies or to paint is a great way of monitoring your progress. And I do think that if you continue to do these things, you will see day by day how well these skills will help you, you know, continue on even after therapy. I know that there will be times where you just feel like everything is completely out of your control, but I'm hoping that by utilizing these coping mechanisms and these new skills that you've done so great so far, that you'll realize that it's not the end of the world. Like, things will get better the next day. So I think that you'll be able to overcome whatever obstacles may arise, and I'm very proud of the progress that you've made.
I think you're right. I mean, you know, we've talked about my progress a lot, and I do feel like I've made a lot of progress. There were a lot of times before when I was having really bad nightmares, and I really felt like I was going to lose it, like I was losing control of everything. But I found that, yeah, journaling really has helped me a lot. Just doing things that I like and being around people that I like and that I love, and just using the skills. I didn't think the skills would work, but then I would use them when I was in the middle of something very difficult, and they were working for me.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the things that I'm so happy to hear, is that these techniques really have stuck with you and helped you, and that you're going to be able, without me, you know, here, to keep using them and keep improving. And I think that that's just great.
Yeah, I didn't expect to make the change that I've made. I do feel like I've made a lot of progress. I know that there's still a lot of progress that needs to happen, but I'm okay with that. I'm just really thankful that I've learned new skills, that I have, I guess, different outlets that I can use when I'm feeling what I feel. I just hope to continue on this new path.
Yeah. Well, I know we're coming to the end of our time, Sophia, and I just, before we end, I just want to thank you for sharing your life with me, sharing your joys, you know, the hardships, and just being open with me and allowing me to work with you to help, you know, work through some of these things. You've shown the ability to utilize your skills to help cope with your trauma, and I think that moving on, you're going to do really, really great. So I'm sad. I was going to say I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but I think that you've got all of the skills that you'll need to continue moving forward.
Thank you.